Dr. Fenner. I love reading about you. It's just you have so much going on. I know apart from being an established writer, you also a print model, a speaker, actress, TV presenter, and a former radio personality. And also, the most important one is a principal. Can you tell
Yes.
us a bit about your journey and where did it all start?
Wow. Well, first and foremost, I've been busy. I've always been very highly motivated. I have never, ever, ever wanted to live in poverty. So I made sure that I had to do what I had to do to become that independent Black woman. Okay. So it all began. I graduated from high school at 71st High School here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And at 17 years old is when I graduated. I attended North Carolina Central University. It's an HBCU in Durham, North Carolina. There I obtained my Bachelor of Arts degree. And then I began teaching. I was a teacher for 6 years. I taught first and second grade in Durham, North Carolina. And I remember when I looked at my first paycheck as a teacher, I was so depressed. That next afternoon, when I got off, I went back to North Carolina Central University and I enrolled in their master's graduate degree program. And I began working on my first master's degree. Okay. Then I decided, you know what? I'm homesick. I'm going to move back to Fayetteville. So I moved back to Fayetteville, which is where I'm from. And I, of course, continued teaching first and second grade at a local elementary school. And then I enrolled in Fayetteville State University and I completed my first master's degree. Okay. Then I decided, someone one day said, Shanessa, you ever heard of the North Carolina Principal Fellows Program? And I said, no, I haven't. So, of course, I started to do my research and I said, that's interesting. Okay. So, of course, I'd already completed my first master's. And then, of course, this is called the Master of School Administration, which is, the program that you get obtain your principal's degree from. So I applied for that. I was accepted into that. And then I began the North Carolina Principal Fellows Program. I did that program. I graduated with my second master's degree, of course. And then after that, I became an assistant principal at a local middle school. Okay. I was a middle school assistant principal for 4 years. And then, of
Wow.
course, after that, I became a principal. Okay. And then my last year of being an assistant principal, I said, you know what? I need to get my doctorate degree. Okay. So my last year as an assistant principal at a middle school, I began the doctorate program at Fayetteville State University. Okay. So, of course, I did that. And then I became a principal. And then, of course, I've been a principal of 4 schools here in, Cumberland County School System. And I obtained my doctorate degree when I was principal of Ireland Drive Middle School. I became Dr. Shanessa Fenner. And that is my journey when it comes to, being a principal. And of course, it's been a very fruitful, a very loving, nurturing, passionate journey of mine. I not only touch the lives of my babies, I touch the lives of my teachers as well. When you are a very secure, highly ambitious person, you want to see other people, strive as well. So, I'm always talking about being that lifelong learner. You've got to be that lifelong learner. So at my school, the majority of my teachers, of course, they have their graduate degrees or they're currently in graduate degree programs. I currently have a teacher right now. She's in the doctoral program and I'm on her dissertation committee. Okay. So that's how involved I am with making sure that not only my babies are successful, that my teachers are successful as well. Whatever they need, I look over their papers, read over them, give them ideas. They're always coming to me, Dr. Fenner, what do you think of this? Can you read this? Can you look over this? Tell me what I need to do with this. But I'm always, always that person who's trying to encourage others. And that's what we should do. I'm not a hater. I don't have a jealous demonic spirit like most people do. I want people to do well. I want them to achieve and succeed. If there's anything I can do to assist them, I will assist them. Okay. So that is my journey when it comes to education and being a principal.
Well, this is awesome. It sounds like you want the world to be a better place for everyone. That's
I
what you
do.
that's what
I
you're
do.
working for.
I do. And to be quite honest, I don't want anybody to struggle. I don't want anybody to live from hand to mouth, which is known living check to check. I want everybody to be successful, and I just want everybody to be happy. And I understand, we have this checklist. We want everything checked off. We want this and we want that and we want this. But my thing, sweetie, is I want peace of mind and I want to be happy. That's the main thing. Yes,
I
yes.
can go with that one.
Yes.
I love that one because if we're happy in this world, but again, that's all that we actually really need, a peaceful life. Because the funny thing about it, we only have one of it to live. Why not
Yes,
make why not make the best out of it, be happy,
exactly.
and do the things that will create something even after you are gone from this world.
Exactly. And see, the one thing that we're not certain of is our expiration date. No one knows their expiration date right now. We can go buy some milk right now. There's an expiration date on the milk. Okay. We don't have an expiration date. Okay. So that's why it's very important that the time that we have here now, we need to make sure that we don't waste it. When I think about people who've passed away, I think to myself, wow, did they do everything that they wanted to do, be everything that they wanted to be? I just think sometimes we don't live to our fullest potential. Many times people are always worried about what other people are going to say. I don't worry about what other people say, okay? I worry about what God is going to say, and I worry about what's in my heart, okay? Because, see, the ultimate decider is our creator, okay? So you have people right now. I've had people to tell me, I don't want to go to college because my friends and family are going to be jealous, And I think to myself, wow. Yes, I've had people tell, and I'm the wrong
Wow.
person to tell somebody like that because I'm very ambitious. Oh yeah, and I'm just thinking to myself, wow, well, who you really need to worry about is the creator and what he thinks, not what people think. Yes, people are going to talk about you, honey. People are going to talk about you regardless. Okay. That comes with the territory. But what you need to know, you don't need to worry about what people say. You need to worry about how you feel and ultimately what our creator thinks.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter if you do good or bad, people will still talk,
Well, people are going to,
actually.
honey, people are going to talk about you. And I've always been told, Shanessa, don't worry about when people talk about you. I want you to worry about when they stop talking about you, okay? Because when they stop talking about you, Shanessa, that means you don't have it going on anymore.
It's
Yeah.
funny you said that
Uh-huh.
because
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandfather used to say the exact same thing with
Uh-huh.
me. The
Yes.
the moment you start doing something good in this world, the moment you are leaving your footstep when you walk, that's the moment people will start talking. And if
Hmm.
you sit there and not talking, there's something wrong with you, and you
Oh,
need to
yes.
start
Yes.
fixing it.
Yes, yes. And I had a friend one time tell me, he said, yes, somebody said something about you. And I said, well, you know what? One thing I know for sure, because I've known Shanessa since junior high school, you're sitting here, you have so much to say, but I can promise you, Shanessa, wherever Shanessa is right now, she's not thinking about you. I guarantee you, she's working on a goal right now, and you're the last person she's thinking about. I said, Amen. Amen.
Well said. Thank you. Oh my goodness. So, as an educator and elementary school principal, how do you manage all of your creative work and then also a full time job?
Well, when I'm at school, I am 100% present in the moment. That's Monday through Friday as a principal. But when I come home in the evening and when I have my weekends, that is Shanessa's time. That's my time to be the adjunct professor, the writer, the songwriter, whatever else I'm working on. That's my time. Okay. I've also got to get my nap time in. As I told you prior to recording, I love to sleep. My favorite thing to do is sleep. I take naps. Girl, I sleep all night long. The only thing that wakes me up is if I have to use the bathroom. Okay. But I sleep. I've never had a problem with sleeping. Everybody I talk to is an insomniac. I have never, ever had a problem with sleeping. But like I said, on the weekends, that's my time to do all of the things, that I like to do.
So, what's get you into writing?
Um, I've always liked to express myself with words. I was that person whose mother made me study the dictionary. And, therefore I'd also study the thesaurus and just different things like that. Cause I'm a nerd at heart. I've got to admit that I'm a nerd. So I would always be like, wow, there's so many things you can do with words, Some from there, of course, I began writing. I began reaching out to various publications. I currently write for 15 publications at this time. And I just
Wow.
love, yes, and every publication, of course, they have their own style. I've formed great relationships with the editors and all. Everybody has their own little writing style. They've gotten to know me. And, sometimes I can, dive in a little deep when it comes to certain topics that I'm passionate about, in matters of the heart. But I got into writing because I just think it's just a great way to express yourself. Also, my favorite things is, of course, when I interview people. I have met so many people. And here's the thing that I like to do. Everybody who I've interviewed, I've kept their name, their phone number, and their email address, because you never know when you're going to need someone. Okay. I've done stories of people with, about their movies, their businesses, different things that they do. So of course, if something comes up in the future, I'm thinking to myself, I interviewed this person. Let me reach out to them. And of course, they're going to remember me because that big, gigantic cover story that I did of you, I'm sure you've got it framed. You've got it on your wall in your office. So when I call you and I go, hey, this is Shanessa Fenner. Oh, you know who I am. You remember me. I did that cover story on you, So I do that because you never know who you're going to need one day. So I make sure I keep everybody's name, phone number, email address, because once again, you never know who you're going to need one day. I've made some great contacts. I've interviewed celebrities and all. I mean, it's just been wonderful. I interviewed a guy one time named Carl Marshall. He's a Southern soul artist. And I was a radio personality at the time as well. And he was on my radio show a few times. And Carl Marshall wrote a song entitled Leave That Man's Wife Alone. Okay. Beautiful song. And he reached out to me one day. He said, Shanessa, I want you and Calvin P. Calvin P. was another radio personality at the radio station. He said, I wrote a song called Leave That Man's Wife Alone. I'd like for you and Calvin P. to listen to it. And I want you and Calvin P. at the beginning of the song to do a little dialogue with one another. Okay? So Calvin P. and I went to the studio next door. We sat down. I closed my eyes, I began feeling the song. I said, okay, leave that man's wife alone. Calvin P. and I turned on the microphones. I said, you got it, Calvin P? He said, I'm ready. I said, let it roll, baby. We pressed record. Me and Calvin P did that dialogue in one take. That's how me and Calvin P vibed. We listened to that song. We had that dialogue in one take. It was on. The next thing I know, the record was out. We were playing it at the radio station, honey. Beautiful. Leave That Man's Wife Alone by Carl Marshall. And see, those are the kinds of things that when you are very involved with stuff, that's how these connections get you involved in other things, Loved it. Love it to this day. Loved it. And Calvin P. and I did that in one take. That's that chemistry that you have with people, because I'd gotten to know Calvin P. very well. He gotten to know me, my personality and all. We had a lot of conversations about relationships and, the things that we've been through in our relationships. And honey, we let that thing roll and we did it, So yeah.
Now I'm going to have to go Google that song and start listening to it.
Leave That Man's Wife Alone.
Leave that man's wife alone. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, you have done a lot of things. I wonder what else you're hiding from me here.
I don't know. I just believe we were placed here on earth to do great things. And I don't ever want to be that person that's laying in my grave saying, I wish I'd have done this. I wish I'd have done that. Now, why didn't I do this? And I'll never, ever, ever say, well, I didn't do this because I thought somebody was going to, honey, I don't care what nobody going to say, okay? If it's something that I want to do, I'm going to do it. People are going to talk regardless, okay? So give them something to talk about, okay?
Exactly. So you might as well just give them something good to go talk to about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. So when you did also radio personality, so how was that experience for you?
Oh, it was so beautiful. Let me tell you how that works. See, it's about connections. I was in my car one day and my telephone rang and it was Ray Thomas. Ray Thomas was the program director at a radio station. He called me. He said, Shanessa, what's up? I said, what's up, Ray? He said, can you meet me at the car wash? I want to talk to you. I said, okay. So I turned my car around. I went to the car wash and, he was getting his car washed and we were sitting inside talking. I said, what's up? He said, I'm program director at a radio station here in Fayetteville, and I've been watching your TV show because I have a TV show. He said, I've been watching your TV show, and have you ever thought about radio? I said, Ray, I have never thought about radio. TV and writing, that's been my thing. He said, well, how about it? I said, okay. So anyway, I thought about it. I said, yeah, why not? Why not? So I began going to the radio station, and there was another radio personality. Her name is Taylor Morgan. And Ray said, Shanessa, the show is going to be Taylor Morgan featuring Shanessa Fenner. And the reason why is Taylor is going to teach you everything you need to know because the ultimate goal is for you to have your own show. Okay. So I began going to the radio station. Taylor and I began doing the show. She showed me how to run the board. I mean, she showed me how to run everything. Okay. And Taylor is awesome. The next thing I knew, Ray was like, Shanessa, you ready? I said, hey, sister girl, ready. The next thing you know, the promo started running. Here's Real Talk with Dr. Shanessa Fenner. Then I began to do my own show. And it was wonderful. I interviewed a lot of celebrities, a lot of musicians, a lot of people in the community. It was absolutely awesome. I love radio. I met a lot of people. It's just fun. Being on the radio is fun, and I love music anyway. When I'm writing on the weekend, I've got my music playing. My favorite musician is Babyface. But it's just a beautiful thing. So that is how I became a radio personality.
Wow. So now, can you tell us about your TV show?
Yes. Let me tell you how I got into TV. Once again, connections. When I started my first master's degree at Bevel State University, I had a professor named Dr. Earl Hill. Dr. Hill asked me one afternoon, he said, Shanessa, can you stay after class? I want to talk to you. I said, sure. Dr. Hill goes, Shanessa, I have a TV show called In the Doctor's Office on Community Channel 7, and I want somebody to be the host. He said, I want somebody else to do it. I'm kind of tired now. I'm doing a lot of things. Is that something you're interested in? And I said, well, Dr. Hill, I'll think about it. So I thought about it. And once again, I said, why not? Okay. So I began going to host his TV show. Okay. One evening after I taped his TV show, the person who tapes it came out and she goes, Shanessa, would you like your own show? I said, yes. 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 Sign me up. So the next thing I know, I've got my own TV show and I've been doing TV ever since. I love it. I've met a lot of people. It's fun. Now, the thing about TV, you got to make sure everything's dressed because people see you. But on the radio, nobody can't see you. They just hear your voice,
Sure.
But I love it. I've met a lot of great people, done a lot of great interviews, and it is fun. That is how I got into TV.
So what is your show is all about now?
I talk about everything. I have different people from the community. We talk about education, the events going on, what's going on in America. I mean, any kind of topic, I may have somebody from the Arts Council to come in and we'll talk about the various things that they have going on there. I may have a doctor to come in. We're talking about breast cancer. I mean, anything. I may have a local politician come in and they're talking about the things that they're doing in the community and things that they're passionate about. So it varies. It varies. So I talk about anything. And I've always been that kind of person. I like to discuss the things that people don't want to talk about. Some topics are taboo. People want to hush it and kind of brush it under the carpet. I like to talk about the things that people don't want to talk about. I want to talk about colorism. I want to talk about Black America and how we can do better. Those are just some examples. I want to talk about domestic violence, just different things of that nature, things that are passionate to me. But I will, of course, address anything, anything, that I feel like needs to be addressed, I don't have any problem talking about it. I did an article one time in one of the newspapers that I write for called the Fayetteville Press newspaper. I was talking to Black America, how we need to do better. I listed everything that we need to do better in, and I felt that way, This is what, hey, Black America, we need to do better in the following. And I listed it.
I really would like to read that article.
Mm-hmm. I'll email it to you.
That would be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's talk a little bit about the point model.
Okay. I, of course, used to be a hair model, and I love to model. It's fun. I love beautiful clothes. I love beautiful things, period. Okay. And I have been a spokesmodel for a hair company. I also like to model clothes. I've also been with the modeling agency. I've been to modeling school. So I've been on the cover of magazines. I've been the spokesmodel for boutiques. Also, you see flyers and all. My pictures and all have been up there. I have a good friend, Reggie Cogrington. He asked me to be on the cover of one of his albums. So when you look at the album, I'm on the front and the back and on the inside of his album. He's a jazz artist. So there's a lot of things, boutiques, albums, flyers, hair model, you name it. I love doing things like that. I've been in magazines, been featured in magazines, and I love it. It's just a wonderful thing.
Well, that makes all sense. I love your hair.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love the style. I'm like, how did she get her hair to be that nice?
Thank you. I roll it at night. And I put on my satin hair bonnet. And it was so funny. One of the boys at my school one day, this is something you would think that one of the girls would ask me, because all the little girls are like, oh, Dr. Fenner, we love your hair. We love it. And it's real. I said, yeah, baby, this Dr. Fenner's hair is real. But one of the little boys at school, this is so funny. He goes, how do you get your hair to curl like that? And I said, baby, it's called hair rollers. Oh, okay. But you would think one of my little girls would have asked me that. But yeah, he asked me, he said, how do you get your hair? I said, baby, I wear hair rollers. Oh, okay. I said, all right.
I love that one. Oh my goodness. So you are the newest member of Power Professional Organization of Women Excellent Recognized in 2022. Can you tell us about what is it all about?
Yes, Power is an organization that I recently was inducted into, and they like to highlight the experts in any field. So I'm one of the experts in education, and they highlighted me. They did a nice little article on me. They pressed it, they pumped it out into, of course, out in the email and everything. So it's one of those distinguished organizations that I was very, very proud, to be a member of and also to be recognized.
Wow. So you have such a beautiful soul. So you receive many awards. Can you tell us about all of them?
Well, let's see. Here in the Fayetteville area, some of the awards that I've obtained, best TV show, best local TV show. I've won that like 2 years in a row. When it comes to school, I have my school, Alger B. Wilkins. I told you I've been principal for schools. Alger B. Wilkins Elementary School. We were the highest performing school in the state of North Carolina.
Wow.
Yes. And what happened was I was principal of a middle school and asked to be moved to the elementary school. Okay. They moved me there. The state was about to take over the school. And in 1 year, we went all the way to the top, and we were the highest performing school in North Carolina. I was so happy, so elated. We worked our tails off that year. And then, of course, the next year or so, they closed the school down, made it a high school, and then sent me to another school. But to me, that was like one of my biggest things in education. Prior to the pandemic, we always focus on growth because you want the babies to grow at least one level each school year. And prior to the pandemic, when they ranked the growth, my evaluator told me, it was a male, he said, Shanessa, we ranked the growth and you had number 4 in growth. And I said, okay, that's good to know. But those are the kinds of awards, like I said, that I have received. Yeah, those are the kinds of things that I've received.
Wow, this is awesome. So also one thing that your motto is, we were placed here to do great things, and that is what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. So can you collaborate more in that for me?
Yes. I believe that our Creator of course, placed us on earth, to help one another, to love, to get along and all. But I also believe that he wants us to be the best versions of ourselves. He wants us to do great things. I don't believe that he wants us to be stagnant. He wants us to grow, be those lifelong learners that I talk about, do great things, of course, help one another, establish that relationship, of course, with him as the creator and all, have a good soul, a good heart, a good spirit, help and encourage others. But like I said, I feel like most people, they don't really put the effort to being the best that they can be. I feel like people have a lot of hidden talents that they've yet to discover. I don't know if they're shy, if they're insecure, if they're worried about what other people are going to say. People are going to say stuff anyway. But I just think that while we're here on earth, we're supposed to do and achieve great things. We should not be stagnant. We should never feel like that, hey, I haven't done anything. And I think a lot of times as we get older, we start to reflect. I've had people tell me before, Shanessa, I was thinking the other day, I really have not done this, and this. And I think as we get older, we sit back and we start reflecting and we realize that there were things that we should have done that we didn't do. There were things that we should have achieved that we didn't achieve. And like I said, I know we were placed here on earth to do great things. So start today by doing them. Get rid of that fear. A lot of people also have the word fear, FEAR, fear. Remove that fear. Don't worry about that fear. Go for it. Do it. Be like Nike and just do it.
Do it. Just do it.
That's why I feel and I know that we were placed here on earth to do great things. Don't worry about the haters. Hey, let them hate while you be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Other than that, there's nothing else to do. It's just to be you and just do great things and let the fear go. At the end of the day, really, I think that when you're taking your last breath here on earth, you will regret it not doing certain things. Like you said that earlier too. It's be able to sleep in peace knowing that you give earth your best try. You actually give it your best.
And a lot of times, and I tell people all the time, you can't worry about what other people say. Stop reading the comments online. People always have something to say. And it's so funny sometimes when people tell me little stuff and all, and I'm like, wow, if I could delve into that person's life, I wonder what do they do for a living? What have they done? How do they help others? Sometimes some of the most critical people haven't done a thing in life but breathe. That's all they've done is breathe. Haven't done anything, haven't accomplished one thing, but have so much to say.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Mhm.
I agree with that. So, and another thing that I learned about you, you have a girls group at your school called Dr. Fenner's Young Woman of Distinction. Ooh,
Yes,
I like
yes,
the name.
yes.
So it makes me wonder, what is it about?
Well, the girls group, of course, I'm all about girl power. You know that, girl power. And it's so amazing sometimes when I have them together and we're doing little things together. We have that little girl talking every day. They're like, yeah, Dr. Fenner, girls rock. I said, yes, baby. We rock every day, all day long, baby. But my girls group comes from me wanting to expose my girls to different things, to let them know that you're not invisible. Girls rock, girls do great things too. Sometimes in a man's world, everything is always about the male. They see the male as the leader. But hey, baby, women are the gatekeepers of the community, okay? So when I talk to my girls, there's various topics that we talk about. We talk about going to college, hygiene, self-esteem. I have various speakers come in to speak with them, to give them
Oh,
advice. I also make sure that they visit the local colleges because they know that Dr. Fenner wants them to go to college and at least obtain that bachelor degree. We do that as well. I have somebody to come in and talk with them about how to take care of their hair, how to take care of their bodies, the different changes they may go through. We do vision boards. We talk about goals. We talk about academics, and we just talk about learning all about the female and how great that we are. So I just want to make sure that they feel good about themselves. We talk about being independent. You have to take care of self, and I always tell them you can't depend on anybody to take care of yourself because when you do, you're starved. Okay. So Dr. Fenner wants you to be independent. Okay. We talk about how people, one thing I like to talk about is how people, they come and go like the seasons. 1 minute somebody's your friend, 3 months later, they change like the seasons every 3 months. So we talk about that. That's why you have to love yourself, because people are going to come and go, in and out of your life. And that's fine, because I have the gift of goodbye. But I want them to know that, hey, in the end, you have to depend on self. Self.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Fenner, for creating that group, because we need to teach our young girls how to, young women, young girls, how to actually deal with this world, because we don't know really if it's going to get any better for the next generation. And they are our next generation. And right now, where we are, it's kind of funny after all of our ancestors, especially for Black, fought so hard to get us where we are right now, and we are still in all those BSs that we are dealing with. And we
Yes, we
shouldn't
are.
be there still. We shouldn't, we shouldn't, as women, we shouldn't have to take 3, 4, 5 degrees to actually tell people, hey, we can do this. We are great leaders too. We have great um, things to share. We can multitasking. We can do all these things that actually we were born already like that.
That's
For
right.
me, that definitely, for me, the way I looked at it, I can see a woman doing 100 things at once, and men can barely even complete one at
Oh,
once.
yes, 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 honey. We are the multitaskers. Like I said earlier, we're the gatekeepers of the community, okay? And, I have a good friend of mine. She always talks about it. She said, we're always invisible. Black women are always invisible. We do so many things, and people, they act, like I said, you got those haters, they act like you don't do anything, but we do so many great things that people just, fail to acknowledge. But that's okay, baby. Hey, if it doesn't come out in the wash, it's going to come out in the rinse.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even when I go to Black communities, when you see young girls, they are so smart.
Oh,
It's like, oh my goodness, how do you know how to do this? How do you know how to do that? It's
yeah.
like, and when I will hear from people saying Black are the dumbest, I'm like, are you kidding me?
No,
Really?
baby. No.
Have you ever been to a Black community to see what those boys and girls can do? You
Oh,
have
yes.
no idea how powerful they are. They are smart as hell. They don't even need school for that. They're
Yeah.
already smart
And let me tell you this.
naturally.
I tell my babies on the intercom, I do the morning announcements every morning, and I tell my babies there are three adjectives: smart, talented, and able bodied. Okay? And I tell them that every day. I said, don't you ever let nobody tell you what you can't do. You tell them my principal says I'm smart, talented, and able bodied.
Absolutely. And yes, they are. They are smart. And we need to keep moving them to the right direction with all these things going on in this world and all this blah 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 that get all these kids, the teenagers, they get them confused what to do. What do I do? Do I stay this? Do I change to that? Do I become like this? And I think that what you are doing is it's very important to let them know that no, be true to yourself, be love you and be you. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, what they are thinking, what they want you to do, because what they want you to do usually is not the right thing for you
I
anyway.
know, I know. And I always tell my babies, please be you. Whatever you are, you can be an oak tree on Monday or a chocolate milkshake on Friday. Okay? Whatever you are, be you and live in your truth.
Absolutely. So you know one thing, Dr. Fenner, it seems that you already conquered the most of great fields that out there. And but again, talking to you for the past few minutes, you are an ambitious woman with no limits. So what is next for you?
I would like to write a book. I that is something, and people just still can't believe it. Shanessa, you still haven't? I said, no, I've got to buckle down and write a book. So that's next on the horizon for Shanessa. A book from Shanessa by Shanessa. So hey, stay tuned.
Do you know what the book is going to be about?
No, I don't. That is what I'm wrestling with right now. I have so many thoughts going in my brain right now. So I'm just gonna have to just kind of, sit down one weekend and just, hey, do my little bullet form, put my topics, and just do a little process of elimination and figure out, which one.
Whatever it is, I know it's going to be great because with you, who the impossible is possible.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you. Thank you.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, I just want to say to thank you, of course, for having me. Of course, being featured in the magazine and on the podcast. And if anybody's listening, please, please don't wait another minute to go do great things. Put all the fear aside. Put all the negative stuff that you hear. Put all that aside. And I'll always tell people sometimes you have to work on things in private. When you work in private, people don't know what to attack. Okay. So go ahead, work in private, do great things, and then I'd like to hear about it.
Absolutely. Is there any advice or message that you wish to share or to give to young women out there that's just trying to find a way around?
Okay. Young women, you're young, you're our future. You're going to one day take over the jobs that we hold. Just be true to yourself, study hard, be great. Like I said, keep the naysayers, whatever they say. Hey, ignore that. Be great and live in your own truth. That's what I want you to do. Hone in on those talents, sharpen your skills, just do great things. We were placed here on earth to do great things, and that is what I'm going to do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fenner. I hope that you continue to go around and share your message with other people, well, let's just say other women, because we need to hear it from another woman. A funny thing, one woman said to me 2 weeks ago, I don't support other women. And when I hear that, it makes me sad. I feel like I want to cry because I shouldn't hear that from another woman, because you know the pain, you know how it is to be a woman in this world and how much we need to fight for everything that we need in this world. And when you said it to another woman, it's just sad. And when I meet women like yourself, and I get that spirit back again that I'm not alone. And there's women out there that actually want to stand and fight with us and make this world a better place for the next generation of women.
Yes, I was on a podcast a couple months ago and we touched on sisterhood. Sisterhood is something that's so very important, something that we need to do. So that's something, especially when it comes to Black women. I've written an article about that as well. We need to do better. We need to encourage one another, uplift one another. Everybody can shine. It's not all about, oh, she's shining more than me, or she has this, or she has that. Baby, everybody can shine. There's room for everybody to shine. So let's combine forces and do great things together.
Amen to that.